Coming to you from the Hudson Media Group studio, this is Talking Politics, and I am New Jersey's premier, now 10-time award-winning journalist. Top Latino is voted on by the Latino Spirit online magazine, along with the United States Latino Affairs Initiative, and certainly I'll continue to be the weapon of mass disruption in Garden State media, because my level of honesty, folks, now more than ever, is truly necessary in this era of journalistic deception. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the generational talent, Fernando Uribe. Hoping you're having a wonderful October. And of course, folks, again, we're still rocking that pink since it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll talk a little bit later about the success of a professor's quest to save breasts at the world-famous Ventanas at the Modern last weekend. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And of course, how you can still donate to the American Cancer Society. But of course, folks, with 2 weeks to go, Election Day is right around the corner. So of course, there's a lot to discuss. So let's get started. Here's what I'm thinking about right now. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have about 2 weeks to go until we decide who is going to become the 47th president of the United States. Now, I don't like to go by polls. I think we've all learned, especially after 2016, that polling is not an exact science anymore or even an accurate one. But of course, whether you believe the betting markets, looking at data from different states, and not so much New Jersey. I mean, I think New Jersey is a relatively blue state. There are pockets that are very red. But of course, when you have large metropolitan cities like New Brunswick, Trenton, Jersey City, Passaic, Patterson, Camden, Atlantic City, and of course Newark, yeah, folks, those are pretty solid blue, Democratic establishments. Of course, there are parts of the state that tend to lean very heavy red, but again, they're grossly outnumbered by these Democrat cities. So it's a fair chance that the 14 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris in 2 weeks. But rest assured, folks, it might be a single-digit race, though. I think Donald Trump might actually make some inroads in New Jersey, and we're seeing it nationally with blacks and Hispanics. He might do the same in New Jersey, so stay tuned for that. But on a national level, folks, how is this even a race? Okay, when we continue to see record inflation, cost of groceries is still suffocating Americans, fuel prices are still way higher than they should be. We're still donating money to regimes that, let's be honest, are as corrupt as they come over there in Ukraine. We're still being involved in foreign wars that we shouldn't be. And more importantly, folks, we're letting our cities go to shit here, not just in New Jersey, but throughout the United States. We've also seen the border be wide open under the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris administration. That's right, folks. Kamala Harris is the sitting vice president. She's a part of this administration. And if you've watched any of her disastrous appearances with media in recent weeks, yes, the honeymoon's over since the Democrat convention in Chicago. But if there isn't a teleprompter around and she's not prepping for 5 days, we've gotten to learn about all the word salads that Kamala Harris excels in. But folks, again, this is really what aggravates me, not just only as a political scientist, as a journalist, but also as an academic, is how is this race even close when we're seeing the destructive policies of the Biden-Harris administration? Don't believe me? Let me throw some numbers at you, okay? Since taking office, the cost of groceries have gone up 22%. The cost of electricity has gone up 31%. Rents have gone up 23% nationally. The cost of car insurance has gone up 57%. The cost of gasoline has gone up 38%. Food that's available in our public schools from grades kindergarten through 12 have gone up 70%. The cost of eggs have gone up 69%. And even airfare has gone up 25%. Folks, it's been a disastrous 4 years for Joe Biden and, yes, for Kamala Harris. So when Kamala Harris sits there on The View or other programs and is asked, hey, would you change anything about the last 4 years or any policy that Joe Biden enacted? And what's Kamala Harris's reaction? Other than looking like a deer in headlights, which is sort of the normal look that she always has, Kamala Harris has gone on record saying that she wouldn't change a thing over the last 4 years. So if that's the case, why does she deserve a term as president when her term as vice president has basically been to enable Joe Biden? Didn't we just see over the past week an appearance on NBC News when, again, and to her credit, very much like Brett Baer did last week with Fox News, but to see one of these left-wing journalists at NBC News kind of press the vice president was a breath of fresh air. When they asked her about Joe Biden's disastrous debate performance on June 27th, what was Kamala Harris's reaction? Other than being defensive and irritated because how dare we ask a question of the almighty Kamala Harris, right? What was her reaction? Oh, well, Joe Biden is capable. And the reporter's next question was like, well, if he's capable, why are you the nominee? And of course, she sat there with the same usual stupid look on her face that she usually has. And it kind of makes you wonder, what exactly are we believing in when it comes to this campaign? Folks, listen, I get it. You don't like Donald Trump, the person. Fine. There are some things to dislike about him. He hasn't been a very faithful husband. Maybe he hasn't been the best father. I don't know. I don't know the man personally. But folks, we're voting for who's going to take the country in a better direction. You're not voting for this guy to be your next best friend. You're not voting for this guy to be in your bridal party or to be the best man at your wedding. You're not voting for this guy to, I don't know, take the lead at the next PTA meeting at your local public school district. You're voting for the best candidate for president, whose policies actually worked from 2017 to 2021. The cost of gas was down. Why? We were drilling domestically. Now, I get it if you want to be one of those that's all about, well, we need to transition away from fossil fuels. Cool. All right. I'll defer to that argument. But in the meantime, while power grids are getting suffocated because of way too many electric cars getting charged, or, I don't know, green projects like Solyndra, for example, and others have all gone to shit. Well, again, folks, you're not flying in an airplane to go meet your in-laws over Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas in a plane that's electric or running on solar power. It runs on gasoline. And very much like a lot of everyday items that we use in our homes, they're made through petroleum. Folks, it's not just about heating your home with natural gas or even filling up your gas tank, which again has been a serious problem the last 4 years. Petroleum is used in a variety of different products that are created and produced and transported on a daily basis through commerce. So let's not pretend like petroleum doesn't have its uses. It does. You don't believe me? Just look at your basic household items. You're going to find that they were made because of petroleum. But never mind about fuel. I can sort of dwell on that in a different conversation. But folks, Kamala Harris is the living embodiment of, like, you can be very book smart, but not life smart. Okay? And unlike Donald Trump, who didn't have to, sleep her way through politics to get any sort of recognition. No, Donald Trump was just too busy helping build skyscrapers and contributing to the economy of New York City. What can Kamala Harris brag about? At the age of 29, having an affair with a 60-year-old married mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown, right? But again, if you're on the left, if you're a Democrat, or if you're a liberal or progressive, yes, sexual escapades, and, moving your way up the ladder, whether it be corporate or political, because of who you sleep with, well, yeah, that's not really looked upon. I mean, again, folks, the Democrat Party still holds people like Bill Clinton in high regard. So I should tell you about the moral compass of the Democrat Party. But I don't want to sort of go by the low-hanging fruit because, yes, we can go after Kamala Harris for her tactics and how she got her start in politics. But forget about that. Let's talk about her time in politics. Okay? Never won a single delegate or a primary in 2020. She actually even had to pull out of the presidential race in 2020. And in 2024, she hasn't won a primary again. And somehow she's the nominee. Now, one of the things that really upsets me about, of course, the establishment media nationally and also in New Jersey has been this inability or unwillingness to question Kamala Harris and why she constantly defended the cognitive decline of Joe Biden, which we all knew was there. We saw it going back to 2020, even before 2020. But folks, you were too busy being emotional instead of being logical. And we ended up with the 46th president instead of a re-election for the 45th president. And yes, COVID has come and gone. It's been 4 years. We've learned what disastrous policies blue governors enacted and engaged in, right, as opposed to red governors. But folks, what have we learned about Kamala Harris? This is a woman who has, let's be very fair, has been an integral part of this administration. It's the Biden-Harris administration. So when people want to say, well, she's the vice president and she doesn't really have a say, no, she does have a say. She has gone on record as saying that she's been an integral part in the decision-making for Joe Biden. Joe Biden named her the border czar. And what has happened in these last 4 years? A record migration of illegals that have flooded the border and have flooded our cities. And folks, and let's be very honest, Elon Musk isn't wrong when he says that, it's been strategic to ship and bus all these illegals to certain swing states because what Democrats want is to make the entire United States like California, a one-party state. And if they have their way, the U.S. is going to become a one-party state. Republicans may never win the White House again or any major sort of federal elected office, because what are we having? We're having illegals being shipped to some of these states, and in some cases, they're getting registered to vote. Don't believe me, folks? Do the research. It's there. But the most egregious thing about all of this, folks, is the fact that there's been this sort of, again, unwillingness to look at how destructive these policies have been. Okay? What have illegals contributed to our society lately? They've flooded our schools. They're overcrowding classrooms, putting an unusual amount, an unnecessary amount of strain on our public school teachers. They're bringing down the quality of life in many of our municipalities and cities, crowding into apartments, destroying properties, bringing down the value of real estate, using up our social services, using up our emergency rooms. Folks, I get it. I'm the son of immigrants. Okay? My mom left communism, tyranny, oppression, and totalitarianism with nothing more than a suitcase, and left her home, left everything behind for a better life. Because that's, folks, again, I get it. People swim through shark-infested waters. People escape socialism, communism, you name it. Bloody civil wars in Latin America. I get it. You want to come here. I don't blame you. But there's a process. Because again, if you've read the Constitution and you've read the Sovereignty Clause, okay, in Article 2, Section 2, it clearly stipulates that one of the responsibilities of the federal government is to preserve our sovereignty, to preserve our borders. That's not being racist. That's not being bigoted. That's not being xenophobic. Folks, that's respecting federal law and actually enforcing federal law, which Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have not done. So when they took that oath of office on January 20th, 2021, I hate to break it to you, folks, they haven't fulfilled their oath of office, both as the president and the vice president. But somehow now, after 1,460 days, Kamala Harris is telling you, oh, she's going to fix everything that's wrong on day one. You've had almost 4 full years, Kamala, to be a part of an administration to fix what's wrong, to bring down inflation. Do we care to remember that Kamala Harris, as the vice president, which is the president of the U.S. Senate, was the tie-breaking vote in the Inflation Reduction Act? I hate to break it to you, folks. No inflation was reduced because of the Inflation Reduction Act. They'll have you believe that. They'll try to politic on that position, but it's an outright lie, like a lot of the Biden-Harris administration. And now we're seeing the Harris campaign. Folks, it's a dangerous time we're living in. Foreign enemies want to see us dead, okay? Jihadists in Iran and in the Middle East scream death to America on a daily basis, okay? Left-wing progressives and socialists in Washington, D.C., in both the House of Representatives and in the Senate are hoping for our decline and destruction. Folks, we can't have that. In 2 weeks, on November the 5th, or even during early voting, which begins this weekend, folks, you have a choice. You don't have to like the man, but folks, it's hard to argue with the policies. Because we've gone through 4 years of Donald Trump, and we've gone through 4 years of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So as an academic and as a political scientist, folks, I care about data. So when I want to compare and contrast things, I put them side by side. You can't look me straight in the face and tell me that you're better off in the last 4 years. If you're an illegal, yeah, your life's a lot better, sure. But if you're an American citizen, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? The answer is no. And it's not even, folks, it's not even a debate. You have to be a special kind of oblivious. And again, I'm very careful. I'm not going to call you stupid or ignorant or idiotic. No, I'm just going to call you oblivious, because either you're willingly looking to be this oblivious about what's going on around you, or you're just incapable of being objective and rational, and you're just going purely on emotion. And that's all that Kamala Harris voters are. They're emotional. Yes, they want to see the first woman president, or they want to see the first black woman president or the first Indian. Like, this woman can't decide what she is from day to day. Are you black? Are you Indian? Honey, make a decision already. Okay? Stop pandering the way you do. Okay? One day you have an accent. Down in Georgia, you're talking about you're talking about all them good people in Georgia, right? And then you go to like Latino summits and you're like, oh, I love you back, right? Or, you go to Michigan, you talk about, oh, you want to thank a union member? You want to, for paid leave? You want to thank a union member for sick leave? Folks, this woman changes accents. Like, hopefully we all change our underwear, which is quite frequent, to pander. Donald Trump isn't pandering. Okay? And speaking of pandering, isn't that what we've heard since over the weekend when Donald Trump worked an honest day shift at McDonald's in Pennsylvania? I get it, folks. It's a photo op. Sure, it is. It's campaign season. I know he wasn't wearing a hairnet or gloves or whatever it is that he had to do while serving fries and serving people hamburgers. I get all that. It's a photo op. Did you have a problem with the ridiculous photo ops in 2020 when Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer were wearing like African garb and face masks and kneeling on one knee to honor a career criminal like George Floyd? We all remember those photo ops, folks, in the halls of Congress, bending on one knee in the honor of a career criminal. Wasn't that a photo op? Did that bother you? It should have. But you want to bitch and moan about Donald Trump at a McDonald's serving food to people? Folks, again, the hypocrisy is rich. But what do you expect from Democrats and progressives and the left? They live on being hypocritical. They can't be consistent for anything. And now more than ever, we're seeing it during this election season. Whether it's Donald Trump appearing in barbershops, on Joe Rogan, with The Undertaker, on various podcasts, folks, take your pick. Who's the more relatable candidate? Yes, I get it. Maybe a billionaire isn't the most relatable to us because I don't know any billionaires. But folks, who's being more relatable to the American people? A guy who's being persecuted and having the Justice Department weaponized against him? Or a sitting vice president that's been handed every single job she's ever had, and she sucks at all of them? Folks, the decision's really clear. In 2 weeks, you have to vote red. It's about taking back the Senate, keeping the House, and making Donald Trump the 47th president. Folks, I can't break it down any easier than that. If I still haven't sold you, then you're just being partisan and emotional. And to be honest with you, once we're dealing with people like yourselves, it's hard to get through to you because no amount of logic, facts, or data is going to change your mind otherwise. And unfortunately, you're part of the electorate that's canceling my vote out. Well, we'll see, folks. But in 2 weeks, if Donald Trump doesn't win, we're doomed as a country. That's not me being hyperbolic, folks. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. Donald Trump needs to win on November the 5th. And that's what I'm thinking about right now. And now some local stories for your consideration. And a special thank you to John Hines, fellow Rutgers alum, member of the Pinnacle here in Hudson County, and of course, the editor of the Hudson County View, for his reporting on this story. Now, Jersey mayoral hopeful Jim McGreevey, former governor as well, has scheduled 4 town halls in the next 5 days to hear residents' concerns about what's going on in Jersey City. Now, according to a statement we put out last week, quote, this past month we've embarked on our second listening tour where we've heard our neighbors' care and practical concerns for Jersey City. Every conversation reiterated that our people, families, and communities must be preserved, supported, and uplifted to protect Jersey City's future. I am honored to invite you to our upcoming town hall meetings to discuss your concerns further. And of course, throughout the month of October, we've been seeing various town halls, and the last one to conclude coming up on Monday, October the 28th, between 6:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. at the Monumental Baptist Church, which is located at 121 Lafayette Street. Folks, I got to tell you that this is a very, very strong and smart strategy by the former governor. Because I talked to a lot of locals in Jersey City, and they keep telling me, well, I don't know, the former governor isn't resonating, it's just people look at him as an outsider. Well, the best way to become an insider is to meet with residents, to hear their concerns. And I got to tell you, as someone who has hosted multiple town halls, in my capacity as a broadcast journalist, I can tell you, town halls make a difference. Town halls do the residents an immense service by getting to know the candidate, and again, giving residents the opportunity to ask, obviously, the candidates the necessary questions about what's going on. Not predetermined questions, not taking any hard questions unlike Kamala Harris that you've seen at town halls, or sit-down interviews, right? Other than Brett Baer, who, again, is a credit to his profession as a journalist for asking tough questions, right? Jim McGreevy's taking tough questions at these town halls. So good for him. This is what you want from a candidate who, again, was a former governor, a former mayor from the city of Woodbridge many, many years ago during the 90s, and is looking to become the mayor of Hudson County's largest city. Well, he has some work to do. Yes, he's fundraised. Yes, he has name recognition. Yes, he has a certain following and some serious support behind him. But McGreevy understands that it's time to get to work. It's time to roll up your sleeves, talk to residents about what affects them most. Not pronouns and identity nonsense like maybe some other candidates will be fixated on. No, about parking, about property taxes, about quality of life, about reducing gun violence in some of the, let's be honest, some of the shittiest parts of the city. Folks, not everyone lives in the Heights or in downtown. Some people live in some really shitty areas of Jersey City. The West Side, Pacific Ave, Ocean Ave, Martin Luther King Drive. Okay? I mean, these are some really, really shitty areas in Jersey City, even Communipaw Avenue. Folks, you don't want to be there after 6 o'clock, trust me. And these are concerns that I'm sure residents are going to have. What is the next mayor of Jersey City going to do to make me feel safe? What is the next mayor of Jersey City going to do to try to make sure that, hey, I'm not being priced out by developers or skyrocketing rents? Folks, that's what these town halls are for. So bravo to Jim McGreevy for getting them started. Folks, it is October, and while I love to rock pink during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October is also my favorite holiday because of Halloween. And I'm not sure about you, but this coming weekend, there'll be tons of Halloween parties all throughout the tri-state area, in New York City, across the river, and of course up here in Hudson County, whether in Hoboken, Jersey City, West New York, Union City, Weehawken, or Hoboken. Folks, I got to tell you, it's my favorite time of year, but it's also a time when we go out and party. And now more than ever, it's important to party responsibly. As the county sheriff's office has notified municipalities, they'll be having DWI checkpoints at the Jersey City Hoboken border. Now, the Hudson County Sheriff's Office has announced that during Halloween weekend, obviously, they're asking for residents and motorists to be vigilant. Quote, the Hudson County Sheriff's Office is committed to keeping the traveling public safe, which is why the primary purpose of these checkpoints is not to make arrests, but to deter drivers from driving impaired. Impaired driving is not just from alcohol. Some prescription medications or over-the-counter drugs may also interfere with someone's ability to operate a vehicle. The Sheriff's Office will also have extra patrols throughout the county in an effort to curb driving while intoxicated, while also taking part in Hudson County Vision Zero Task Force in order to make sure that all of the roadways are safe in Hudson County. Now, during the checkpoint, which will be near the intersection of Patterson Plank Road and Hope Street in the Jersey City Heights, officers will look for signs that drivers are under the influence of alcohol, narcotics, and or prescription drugs. Hudson County Sheriff Frank Scolari also recommends taking mass transit, a taxi cab, car services, or asking for a sober friend to drive, spending the night where the party is held, or contacting law enforcement if an impaired driver is spotted on the road, and to make sure to buckle up during every ride. Folks, I got to tell you, I'm not sure how smart this is to sort of announce these DWI checkpoints. People can just be smart and resourceful and navigate their way around them. But it's still a good idea regardless, because it's not just about getting drunk with alcohol or smoking weed or driving impaired. Folks, prescription drugs can also be a problem for motorists. Prescription drugs can create serious problems for people that are either walking or driving. So this coming Halloween weekend, enjoy it. It's great to enjoy Halloween again, especially after the last 4 years, right? Especially during the pandemic, where I remember that in October of 2020, yes, we were able to celebrate Halloween a little bit, but there was some social distancing, but let's be honest, not really. It's a good time to meet people for sure. And in the years since the pandemic, obviously Halloween hasn't been the same, but we're hoping that changes in 2024. And there's tons of great venues to go party at, whether it's the Beer Garden in Jersey City, the Beer Garden in Hoboken, the Ashford in Jersey City, Boots and Bones, Porta in downtown Jersey City, okay, as well as the Mad Hatter, Green Rock, Psycho Mike's in Hoboken. Also, you know, we look at City Bistro, Madison. Take your pick, folks. Son Cubano in West New York. Ventanas at the Modern in Fort Lee. Okay. The MVU Hotel in Weehawken. Okay. And other great venues in Union City, for example, like Caro Cafe, and other great spots throughout the county. Again, just party responsibly, folks. It's a great time of year. It's a festive and scary time of year. But there's no need to make it even scarier if you're on the road when you shouldn't be, and when you're driving when you shouldn't be. So again, please party responsibly and take care of yourselves during this Halloween weekend. Lastly, folks, I do want to thank everyone that came out last weekend for a professor's quest to save breasts at the world-famous Ventanas at the Modern in Fort Lee. You'll be happy to know that since 2008, this event has raised over $63,000 to benefit the American Cancer Society. This year, partnering with the Union City Local PBA number 8, and of course with great sponsors all throughout the tri-state area, we're able to raise money and raise awareness during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and more specifically to pay tribute to a local resident who lost her battle to breast cancer last November. I personally know Olivia Hutcherson, and she was quite the artist, the community activist, daughter, and more importantly, champion for all of those that have suffered because of breast cancer. To see her lose her life last November was definitely just heartbreaking for so many in the area. And we were proud to honor her and really to sort of honor her memory and to make sure that we keep fighting for her and we keep fighting for every single woman and man that's affected by breast cancer. For more information, of course, if you're looking to still make a donation because you couldn't attend last weekend, simply do a Google search at A Professor's Quest to Save Breasts 2024 on the makingstrides.org page. Again, your online donations are safe, secure, and tax deductible. And once again, all proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society and Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. It was great to do the walk last week at the Prudential Center in downtown Newark for the Making Strides campaign in Newark, and I'll continue doing that, folks. As long as I'm physically capable, I'll continue volunteering my time for the American Cancer Society. They're such a worthwhile charity. And a special thank you to Danielle Buckler, the executive director of Making Strides in New Jersey, a wonderful human being who doesn't get the credit she deserves for working so hard for families and everyone that's affected by breast cancer every single day. Once again, I want to thank my co-hosts from last weekend, Vladimir Carrero, Emily Amato, and Jacqueline Rodriguez. We all did our part to help raise awareness, to obviously raffle up some great prizes, and more importantly, really honor the memory of someone who we lost way too soon. Once again, folks, for more information, just do a simple Google search, A Professor's Quest to Save Breast 2024 on the Making Strides of New Jersey page. Once again, we look forward to your donations, and together we can defeat breast cancer once and for all. And that's our show for this week. Once again, to check out all the excellent programming brought to you by the leader in independent media right here in Hudson County, the Hudson Media Group, please visit their YouTube page. It takes 2 seconds to like, comment, and subscribe to all the great content we bring you every single week here with the Hudson Media Group. They include wonderful shows like Hudson County View Live with John Hines, Stick at Night with Hudson County Commissioner Anthony Romano, of course, all the great hardworking men and women from the North Bergen School District, and of course, other great programming that we bring you here at the Hudson Media Group. Folks, it's not easy to produce these shows every single week, and it's a privilege to work with the great staff that I have here, the great crew who edits these videos and makes them look as amazing as possible. Without this excellent staff here, folks, I got to tell you, this show would not be possible. So I thank them every single week for their dedication and their commitment to making Talking Politics a great show every single week. And of course, I can't thank enough Hudson Media Group CEO and executive producer Patrick O'Melia for his belief in this program. Once again, folks, if it's unbiased, unfiltered, and unafraid, it's always Talking Politics right here with Hudson Media Group. I am New Jersey's premier award-winning journalist. Top Latino is voted on by Latino Spirit Online magazine. Certainly, folks, I'll continue to be the weapon of mass disruption in Garden State media because my level of honesty, now more than ever, is truly necessary in this era of journalistic deception. That's right, folks. It's me, the generational talent, and the future of media in New Jersey because, folks, you can't spell future without the letters FU. And guess what? You can't spell Fernando Uribe either. Happy Halloween, folks. Please party responsibly. And we'll see you next time here on Talking Politics with the Hudson Media Group.